Welcome to Reading the Green. It is May 30th. My name is Mike, Kyle, and Jordan, both here on time. Happy Memorial Day, which means we're actually going to talk about the Memorial Golf Tournament. Did you guys have a nice holiday, Kyle? How are things? Great state of Iowa.
Yeah, I did. I had a great holiday. It's nice weather, played a little golf, got to meet some folks. It was a grand old time.
By folks, you mean fans?
Yeah.
All right. Thank you for doing the good work there. Jordan, how's your holiday weekend?
It was great. Spent a lot of time in a couple different pools. Didn't get any golf in, which was always a little disappointing. But I'll save that.
Well, hang on a second. I feel like you texted something about.
Oh,
I thought you texted something like your Air Max is not doing the job right. Was that Friday then?
That was Friday. I forgot about Friday night. Yes.
Okay.
It was couples night, and Rachel and I and our partners actually won our front nine flight.
Despite you playing terrible in your Air Maxes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I think we need more detail here.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was the first round of the year. I didn't think I hit the ball well, and the only thing that had changed was the shoes I was wearing.
But how did you guys win?
It was a scramble. And one of the guys we played with was like a 1.5 handicap. So he played really well, and I made a putt. Rachel even made a putt.
So Rachel carried your ass.
His wife, who didn't even hit anything other than putts, actually made a birdie putt for us. So
well, this will be the kickoff for the show, the round recap from the holiday weekend. But Jordan, I want to know though. I mean, you just probably went straight from the 9th green to the clubhouse to socialize, and your shoes looked great regardless of where you were. So I don't see the problem here. It seemed just like the perfect fit.
They did. They looked great. I even had I got a couple compliments of like, oh, those are nice looking shoes, and also, wow, are those new? Yeah, because they're real fucking white. Like they are.
Well, keep them that way.
They are Kyle living in Minneapolis white.
I don't even know what to do with that one.
Well, good for you. Good for the shoes. I hope you scooped up a bunch of shop credit and.
Yeah,
sure, that's nice.
The wife got excited. She's like, "Ooh, I can buy some golf shoes now." And I was like, "You play 3 rounds a year, 3 9-hole rounds a year."
Don't pull her down. You want to encourage this, other than the spending, but you want to encourage.
This is just fashion. She just wants to look cooler while playing. If it was for a club, I'd be all in.
Sounds like we'd be a great fit.
Yeah.
Kyle, I hope I'm not spoiling anything. Correct me if I'm wrong. Was this a career round this weekend?
It was. I broke 90. I think in our January pod, I said it was going to break 90 this year, and I broke 90.
Hey, ahead of schedule. Congrats, dude. I'm proud of you.
It felt good. And the crazy thing is, overall, I didn't even hit the ball that great, especially off the tee. Struggled off the tee for the most part. But it's amazing when you don't hemorrhage shots around the green and chipping, how much better you can score. So it was good.
I have questions. Questions. So first of all, you just sent your scorecard, but it was just 16, 17, 18, and then the score. You made a par on the 408-yard 16th, and then a par on the 343-yard 18th. Did you know where you were at, and that you needed par to shoot to break 90?
Yes and no. It's kind of funny because I did at one point, but I hadn't entered in my Gen app 17 or 18, and the 17 in there was a par 3. And so I knew where I was, but then kind of lost track and even thought I didn't break 90 until we were walking off the green, and I entered it, and I was like, oh, duh, I forgot it was a par 3, because I was just keeping track relative to par, and not actually the total score. And I forgot we had just played a par 3. So for a hot second, no. But overall, yes.
So that's probably good. So you weren't pooping your pants coming down 18.
No, yeah,
kind of freed up a little bit.
And 16 is one of the harder holes out there, I'm told. So
it looks like it. Yeah. I another question. So it is a par 70, And that's not to discredit anything. Score is a score. I'm curious, if I'm a maybe better golfer, longer hitter, whatever, par fives is where I want to feast, right? I look forward to having 4 par fives on the course. Now that I assume there's only 2 par fives. Do you think it was an advantage to not have as many par fives because you didn't have to hit as many shots on the hole, therefore bring into account as many potential mistakes, and just lower par meant fewer shots? What do you
Well,
think?
so plot twist for you. There's 3 par fives, but there's 5 par
Okay.
threes.
Oh, all right. See, but
Oh.
you only have to hit 1 shot on those par threes to get it by the green. Feels like it'd be advantage Kyle.
Yeah, but I actually hit the irons pretty well overall on the day, but not on the par threes. I don't know. I had a complex going on the tee boxes. The par threes weren't super friendly to me. But overall, I think I'm trying to pull it up here. The par fives, one of them's a legit lengthy par five. I think it pushes. Oh, it might even push challenge 600, but the rest are pretty short. So that definitely helped me out. But I did get an 8 on a 478-yard par 5. And this was actually the shot of the round. And normally the thing that like kind of ends me, my drive off the tee, and I was not very good off the tee, struck a tree as solid as I've ever seen a golf ball strike a tree. And listener Derek was playing with us, as was JY Sodi. And I didn't see where it went. Derek's like, oh, it went straight up. Yes, it went straight up and straight back. And after what felt like 5 seconds, it landed right in front of the tee box. It came a good 120 yards straight backwards.
You still shot the best round of your life.
Yeah.
It's nice to have that. It's nice to have that as be part of the story. Well, I'm proud of you. Something to build on.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just itching to get back out, to be honest.
Well, we'll make that happen sometime in the next few weeks here. We will get the first part 1 of the RTG Invitational on the books. I think we're about due. So, should we talk about real golfers that are really good and not just us hacks?
Yes.
All right. And if since you didn't ask, I had a decent round at Chassis Towns course, Kyle. It was a lot like when we played, blitzed the front 9. It's 3 under on the front and threw up a nice little 40 on the back and felt pretty good.
Wait, Jordan, was that transition on purpose when Mike says talk about good golfers and then brings up his own round?
Yeah, nice, Mike.
That did come out like that. That's not what I meant. I meant good golfers. I meant good golfers at Colonial, but good point. It's every now and then I get it around.
The key at Chaska though, did you play with your own driver? I mean, I hear the cool people don't.
I did. I did. I don't know what to say. I usually put it in my bag when I leave my house. I'll do my beer really quick before we get to the Colonial. Half Acre Tome Hazy Pale Ale. I don't know if you guys had this. It's only 5.5%. So there was a couple of honorable mentions. I was trying to keep it light. I almost went Fair State Roselle, or Steel Toe Split Point Pilsner, but this is pretty solid, pretty easy.
Now, Roselle is my wife's favorite beer, Mike.
I'm actually sporting the Fair State shirt right now. Yes, I like Roselle. It's a good summer crusher.
I had limited options, so I'm drinking things that came back with me from Iowa. I have Cave Creek Brewing Midwest Haze IPA. Glenwood, Iowa. It's good for beers in that neck of the woods. I'll take it.
And I'm not drinking because I was on a 5-day bender, so one Tuesday off here, and no golf tonight. So
I hear you. All right. Well, so we all played a lot of golf this weekend. We all did a lot of pool time, a lot of other stuff. Did anybody watch the Colonial? Who won the Colonial? Any ideas?
Emiliano.
He did. That makes it sound like he's Italian, which he's not. But yes, Emiliano Grillo did win the Colonial in a playoff over Adam Shank. Is that right, Kyle? All right.
We were listening to it while we were playing our round at Shenandoah Coffin Country Club.
Really?
I still need to go back and watch the video to figure out what the heck happened to Griot's ball on 18. Did anyone see that?
No, I don't even know what you're talking about. Like, I was totally tuned out by the back nine. I was kind of pulling for Scotty to somehow get in there, but what happened down the stretch?
So he had a 2-shot lead going into 18 and double bogeyed. And I mean, the radio didn't do a great job. They said off the tee it went into the hazard, but then like we played a whole par 3, and when we got back to the cart, the ball was still moving. I don't fully understand the situation, and then he got some sort of drop from it. So I need to go find video. Somebody please tweet us a good video because I haven't found it yet.
Yeah, I mean,
what is it?
Searching right now, and I can't. Nothing is coming up.
What is it about this course, this venue? I mean, is it a Ben Hogan thing? That guys even like Emiliano Grillo say I couldn't retire until I won here. And a lot of guys, and I also heard, I think in some of the preview podcasts, that this is one of the best weeks of the year. Like I think it was now I'm blanking on who was on, but this parents say, hey, what week should we come out and see you play? And he's always like, come to Fort Worth. Maybe that was Benali or
yeah,
Joel
it was
Damon.
Gino on the episode of Nauman on No Land.
Yeah, and he was just like, this is the week to come out. So something about this tournament just like really gets guys wanting to be there, and so I suppose that's good for the fields and for the level of competition. And Grillo certainly wanted it, but I don't know. Tough. It's just a tough weekend. Like all kinds of stuff going on. It's hard to sit down and watch golf.
So I have it up now, John.
I was gonna say I found the video.
All right,
it's like
there we
a
go.
drainage ditch in
Okay.
Like on the cart path, basically. Like it's concrete.
Oh, and so the ball was like kind of just.
It moved. It was just running downstream.
It's just slowly floating downstream. Everyone's just watching it.
Not running, very slowly.
So it's not. It wasn't a penalty area.
I think it's staked. I see a stake at the top of the screen.
But
this
maybe
is
they
the
were
5.5
unsure if it was
minute
gonna...
video. So I wasn't being sarcastic when I said for over 5 minutes the ball moved.
So they didn't know like if it was going to potentially like come out of the penalty area somehow, and so they had to like wait for it to stop.
Yeah, he played his third shot off the cart path.
Interesting.
After taking a penalty stroke to get it out of the water.
Wow. Well, I might have to send me the link for that because I'm gonna have to get educated. I don't know. Anything else from the Colonial? Are we ready to move on? I have a couple of RTG housekeeping items.
I mean, overall, it was a very good week on my end. I went heavy on Scotty, which even though he didn't come through with the dub, getting second, he was second in DraftKings points, even though he technically finished third. So that was good overall. I mean, I had a decent amount of rookie, and then some of my flag plants in the lower 7K came through. And with Scotty, I don't know if you've dug into this strokes gain data, but he absolutely dominated tee to green. He just
couldn't make a putt.
And Grillo could make a putt. He was 20th in the field tee to green and wins the golf tournament. That doesn't happen very often. Not
a guy like him. He's the kind of guy that finishes first in tee to green and last in putting.
Yes.
Which he's done this year. Kyle, were you worried that I was going to quit DFS after this weekend?
Yeah, Jordan, you would never believe this, but somebody was tilting a little bit on Sunday afternoon.
I mean, it was absolutely absurd. I'm so frustrated. It's mostly on the Rainmaker side, which I'm sure Kyle, you'll just say that's why you just got to get out, stop worrying about it, and you're gonna love my strategy for this week. But I was in the single entry per your guidance. Hey Mike, why don't you just pick a great lineup from what you got and put it in single entry and just not worry about all the other crap that goes on. And so I go 5 of 5. My lineup is Hovland, Morikawa, Putnam, Martin, Jaeger. And I worked my way on Saturday. At the end of the day, Saturday, I worked my way into the top 100. It was like 2,500 entries. So worked my way into the top 100. Top 100 get paid. And I'm feeling pretty good. And Ben Martin comes out and he birdies his first 2 holes, and I jump up into like the top 20. And I'm like, this is great. My first guy's out. He's on fire. I'm up into the top 20. My scores for the 5 players for the round for the day were Hovland was +3, Morikawa was even. The Jaeger was +6, Martin was +9, and Putnam was +4. I ended up in like 300th place. I just got slaughtered on Sunday. And I was that, and then I had a number of entries in the rare find that were slipping just outside of the prize window, and I just was like, I was ready just to rip it all up. And I came back because they got a score adjustment that gave me credit for one of those rare find tickets. So I will have a rare card coming at some point here. But I hit a bunch of other cash lineups, so like my week was even or a little ahead. This was really pissing me off.
We're due for some good weekends here. How many times we've had great first 2 rounds and then just the weekend? The $6 single entry, I was I think the highest I got was 26th at some point on Saturday, and then Putnam +4, Ben Martin's route in reverse, like you point. It just we need a good weekend.
Something's got to, it's not even like we're playing a whole bunch of chalk too. It's like we had some of these great pips. Ben Martin was 5% owned this week or whatever, and was a good solid model play for us, and rewards us with an 81 or whatever, 80 on Sunday. Like just complete crap.
Yeah. Well, you know who you guys should be betting on? It's Scotty Scheffler.
We do.
I'm 95% Scotty.
Did you see his the stat today? Patrick McDonald, no idea who he is. Scheffler has 14 straight top 20 finishes in stroke play events. And if you would have bet $100 on the first one and just rolled all the winnings into a top 20 bet each week, you'd be at 20 grand.
Not bad for a top 20 bet, but who's gonna continue to roll that?
That's
you pull out some money and keep going. That's
in retrospect, but yes, I agree.
Money to be made if you ride some of the hot hands.
Will be an interesting play this week. We'll get to that in a second, because I don't know that he doesn't have all the love right now for the Memorial, but we'll get to that in a second here. Really quick, Listener League, J.M. Newberg takes down the top spot, Reese Sprout in second, and Ryan Elwood in third place. Mike McClure, 8th RTG win on the year. Scheffler, Homa. It was just nice to see Homa bounce back with a decent week. And gutsiest play goes to Byron Lindeque with his Ryan Fox mention, and that will be dovetailed nicely into the Memorial preview as well. One and done, Jordan? This was an interesting week, it seemed like.
Pretty crappy week all around. The best anyone did was all birdie round 18, picked Ricky Fowler and got $293,000. Right. So there was very little movement. My guy Justin Rose got 178,000. I think you guys were somewhere down here, right?
Mine has a 0 next to it.
Mike, did you play this week? I don't see any money adding to your tally.
I don't know what to say. Cam Davis doubles 18 to miss the cut.
Brutal.
Yeah. If I had a chance at one and done, I'd care.
Not much of a change. Still, year to date, top 2, Jacob King, Derek Howard with 15 million. Then there's 5 or 6 between like 10 and 8 million. So there's still a chance. And then the further down you go, 28th place is Mount Cost right now, our fearless leader.
All right. I'll survive. Kyle, you ready to talk about the Memorial?
Let's talk about Memorial.
All right. Muirfield Country Club in Muirfield Village, Ohio. Past winner Billy Horschel, who's probably the highlight of his last couple of years, because he has certainly fallen a long way since that win last year. Elevated event though, and to be honest, Kyle, I haven't done much course prep, so I'm hoping you got the course preview on lockdown. What do you think, Muirfield Village?
Guess who finished second last year? Any ideas?
I must be thinking 2 years ago because I thought this was Cantlay Morikawa in a playoff, but that must have been 2 years ago?
That was because Rom was destroying the field and had a
Oh, that was
WD
that
because he tested
year.
positive for COVID.
That's
Mhm.
right.
Yes. Last year was Aaron Wise, followed by Neiman and Cantlay. So Horschel was 13 under, kind of ran away with it. Even the last day, won by 4 strokes. Then it was Wise, Neiman, Cantlay, Denny McCarthy, Sahith Theegala, Willie Z,
Hold on, you
Homa, and
skipped
Berger.
somebody. Oh yeah, there we go. Daniel Berger. Daniel Berger. I heard that he has a tee time in the sectional qualify or final qualifying for the U.S. Open next Monday.
I did see that as well. Did you buy your Berger card yet?
I have 2.
I already have one too. So, but Memorial, they did do a renovation. So it's only been 2 years since that renovation. So keep that in mind when you're looking at some historical results and data. But once again, we're looking heavily at iron play. Strokes gain approach is going to be the key. If you look at last year, Wise was second in stroke gain approach, and Horschel also top 15 and took home the victory. Sand and scrambling, it's a tough scrambling course, and that's it has a lowest green and regulation percentage if your drive misses the fairway of non-major events. And then the one thing though, it's less sticky from a putting perspective. New green contours the last 2 years, so I wouldn't put as much stock in putting this week. Last week we were trying to look for those guys that hit the hot putter. Not as concerned about it here. 11 water holes, looking to avoid double bogeys. And because we're not as concerned about putting, I think it brings somebody like Corey Connors, for example, back into play. Looking at him last year, it was great here, tee to green. Just lost a little putting, but I think it kind of levels the playing field. And really, if you're hitting it close on your approaches, that won't matter as much. It is challenging around the greens, but I think there's a little bit of a different opinion within the community there. So you'll hear both sides of the take that it's so challenging, it levels the playing field that it's not, your short game wizards like a Spieth. It doesn't matter as much because everyone's gonna be okay or suck, and not really allow those people to thrive. But last year, Horschel was third in stroke gain around the green. And McDenny, who was finished 5th, led the field in strokes gained around the green. So I guess formulate your own opinion there. I don't know if I'm sold that it neutralizes that.
All right. Well, model is interesting. I'm sure you'll take us through the top couple of players, but we know that studs tend to dominate the elevated events, and we got a handful of studs that our experts seem to like this week.
Yeah, leading the way so far is Patrick Cantlay, 56% mention share, and he's really strong on the MPI at this point too. I don't think that would surprise anyone, given his history here. Finished 3rd last year, did get the win with an asterisk when Rahm withdrew, but just his numbers that week were phenomenal. Did win in 19 and 4th and 18 before the redesign, or before a little bit of edits to the course. So I still think he's going to be a great play this week. Is 10-5 at the salary. Ricky is getting some love too. He's part of a crew at 38% mention share. So that's Ricky, Scotty, and Shane Lowry, all coming in at that 38% and decent to middling across the board at MPI. And then rounding out those over 25% at this time is Rahm and Ryan Fox at 31% mention share. Mike, any of those jumping out as the best plays on your end?
Well, I mentioned Ryan Fox as being the gutsiest play last week. He turns a 1-mention performance into so far garnering 30% of the love, and is doing a lot of good things lately. We know he's a great driver of the golf ball, gaining in almost every event in the last couple of months. Certainly above average on distance, and his approach play has been pretty solid outside of the Valero. Looks like he's got looks like 7 top 20 finishes in his last 11 events, and so a lot to like there on form and at 7,100. The only question will be, where does he end up as far as chalkiness? Does he end up being that 15, 20, 25% owned $7,100 play, then you just got to think strategically of where to put him. But I like Ryan Fox. I also, this might be a JT week. You're just kind of waiting for JT to be JT. And I like that he currently is garnering the top spot in our power index. He's getting a decent amount of love at 25% at the moment. $9,200 is a really nice price point to be able to pair him up with another stud. And like we talk about, it seems every single week, JT hasn't been that bad, right? You know, he obviously had a poor showing on the weekend of the PGA Championship, but in most phases of the game, he's doing the right things, and it's just a matter of time before he just kind of puts together a good JT week. So I like that number, and then I don't know, I'll probably flirt with Rahm or Cantlay in some cash lineups too.
Yeah, I think you kind of brought up some interesting points there with both Fox and JT in around lineup construction this week. I think that's going to be interesting just because you look at it, to your point, you have Rahm, Scotty getting some love up there. We have Cantlay getting love. So I think a lot of people are going to start with two studs, whether, they're going to make a decision between Rahm and Scotty, and then maybe put, Cantlay X or even Victor Hovland as their second guy in. And that will lead to, somebody like a Ryan Fox or KH Lee or Adam Svensson, someone that's getting some love in the 6s or 7s, garnering a lot of ownership as well. Because of that, though, I think there's going to be a little bit of a vacuum in that lower 9 and 8K range where you might not see as much ownership. Just naturally how things are built, because the first place I went with plays this week is obviously Cantlay, given his history here. He been playing really well. He just has ran into some buzzsaws at other events. The MPI is really strong, so he's someone we like this week. Our model likes this week. I think between Scotty and Rahm, I am leaning Rahm. Just a little bit of better course history here. Saves you $300, which is really going to help you not have to dig into the 600s as much. So I think I'll start, especially from a cash perspective, that type of build. Rahm and Cantlay. Spencer's at Rotorballers on Rahm, Joyce over at Sotastic. So then you have to save some money. One of the guys I'm looking at to save money, and he's not getting a ton of love yet, but I think this might pick up a little bit more steam tomorrow. It's Ches Reavie, only at 6,200. He's made 5 of his 6 last cuts. He has a 6th and 11th in there. He finished 22nd at the Memorial in 2020. And going back to what we're looking for this week is, that longer iron play. He's second in this field from 175 to 200 yards, and 21% of the approaches last year were from that range. He's also 4th in the field over 200 yards, which has a large amount of approaches as well. He's only 12% our model right now. Spencer at Rotoballer again at Fantasy Labs, GPP articles on him, but I think I'll dabble there as my savings after going pretty expensive up top.
I'm a little surprised Ches Reavie at 6,200, despite getting he's got a little bit of TV time the last couple of weeks. Putting very well, but consistently a short hitter, very accurate. But like you said, if he's really striping it from 175 to 200 and in that range, then that distance off the tee, like, that works. And he's clearly making it work right now around the greens too. I don't know where you're at on Shane Lowry at 8,100. I know we mentioned that he currently is at 38% on our model. Shane Lowry, 8,100. He's certainly come on a little bit lately. It feels to me like he's really underperformed this year, but he's got 2 missed cuts really on the bulk of the season, the Phoenix and the Wells Fargo. But consistently gaining on approach, consistently gaining off the tee, actually hitting it putting long, losing quite a bit putting and around the green, which is not the Shane Lowry that we know. Shane Lowry is usually a master with his wedges around the green. And so I'm kind of waiting for him to have that week where he really is a short game master and then puts that all together with his consistent ball striking. So I don't know. 8,100 is a pretty nice number for a guy with major championship pedigree.
I feel like Lowry's just a guy that's burned me a lot in the past. It's always a tough click for me.
That's kind of what I'm getting at. It feels like he's
Yeah.
he's just really underperformed this year, but the data says otherwise. I don't know. I have to dig in a little bit to see why he's specifically popping this week.
It's
Jordan,
interesting. He is getting some love in the model too, because just looking at the price points and those around him, Ricky's getting some love. Sahith had the good finish here last year. Corey Connors, I mentioned him. Wyndham Clark's been good. And then you have Siwoo and Tom Kim right below him. I guess I would be surprised whether he really gets as much ownership as maybe the model shows he might right now.
Well, like you said, that 8K range might end up being completely forgotten. Gordon?
I'm gonna go the opposite. Instead of who I'm playing, I'm gonna say who I'm not gonna play. Because they're annoying me right now. And I looked into their rounds a bit, and it's Sung Jae. Right, so he's 2 missed cuts in a row, which it happens, but like too bad. Like not
if you're Sung Jae, it doesn't happen. To be honest, like
that's true.
Since the Wyndham of last year, he missed a cut at the Sony, and then he missed his last 2 cuts. He doesn't miss cuts.
But like looking at his rounds, he only has Sunday rounds. All those cuts he's made, he only has 3 rounds in the 60s on Sunday. Right? Like yes, he ended up 8th. I saw it at the Wells Fargo 3 weeks ago, whenever that was. But he still shot a 72 in the 4th round. Like he's been having either, he'll shoot a 64. What was that? That was in the Players. 75, 69, 64, 72. Right? Like he seems to be going off for 1 round. And if it's, or maybe 2, and the other 2 are a real struggle, even though his strokes gained is, he's positive on everything, other than the last 2 weeks. It's just, he's really annoying me right now, guys. Sung Jae.
Well, that's fine that you're not playing him, because none of the experts are playing him either, except for,
But now I know he's gonna do well. Now he's gonna maybe get a top 5.
I like the call. I'm not playing Sanjay this week.
Who else are you not playing? He's gonna be a top 5. Put it down.
Who else?
The other person I'm not playing that isn't even in the model anywhere is Gary Woodland, who's also been playing good. But I feel like I've picked him so much lately, and he never does like anything extra for me.
And that's always the key: how much extra they're willing to do for it.
Yeah, I need someone. I need a winner. I don't need a tied for 27th.
Well, Kyle's gonna tell you the winner here at the end of the show, because he's gonna give us winner on his card this week. I'm feeling it. What about tiers, Kyle?
You brought him up earlier, but I think the place the model really helps this week is tier 3, and I'm kind of surprised to see JT down in tier 3 with that 9,200 salary. Like we said, he's leading the way on MPI. Also in tier 3, you have Cameron Young, Jason Day, Matt Fitzpatrick, and Sung Jae. Jordan hit on Sung Jae. I'm not going there. Cameron Young, he's just not playing great golf, and I don't think, if there's a place I think he's going to find his mojo, I don't necessarily think it's this. Fitzpatrick does intrigue me a little bit. Looking back at last year, he was actually 2nd in the field tee to green, but missed a cut because he missed a mountain of strokes putting. So maybe he can find his way a little bit better around the greens there, but JT looks like the click at this point.
Good stuff. All right. Favorite part of the show, the name game. Consecutive wins on my part, which is, I said it was going to be an uphill battle to close the 4 wins I needed to close on Jordan, but all starts with the first one. So let's go.
You 3 more to go. Out. It was close. It was close.
This was the closest for all of us. The only group that sucked was the listeners, and they just got stuck with
yeah,
someone.
Hayden Buckley and something else.
Dylan Woo.
All I needed was Eric Cole to make the cut, and he didn't.
Yeah, you had the higher score in Adam Shank.
Oh, yes, I had the highest and the lowest. How sad is that?
Well, what do you got this week, Jordan?
This week, I'm tired of playing these crappy golfers, guys. We always pick like these people way down the list. Oh, here's 3 golfers for $20,000. Woo! Let's not care about how any of them do. Well, I changed it up. I took the top 8 golfers, did a just cost snake draft. So the most expensive and the least expensive are together, and so on around. So we've got Scheffler and Jason Day, John Rahm and Victor Hovland, Rory McIlroy and Colin Morikawa, and Patrick Cantlay and Xander Schauffele.
Who gets to go first?
Well, the listeners got dead last week. Do we let them go first?
It feels like we should have a protocol for this by this point, but I kind of like just deciding based on how we feel.
Let's just let the listeners pick last every week. I think that's how it needs to be. They aren't here. Leave the decisions up to all of us real time.
So Jordan, you got third.
Yeah, so it'd be me, Kyle, Mike, then listeners get whoever's left.
Okay. And that really makes it bad when the listeners beat us, by the way.
Yeah.
Maybe we should have them go first.
I didn't actually look at the picks here.
I know who I want. Can I pull is this a Viking situation where Jordan's just gonna get jumped?
Well, I don't want to pick Scotty Scheffler, but he's been so effing good. I'm gonna do Cantlay and Schauffele. I'm gonna go.
Mm-hmm.
That's who I was gonna take.
The lowest of the high and the highest of the low amounts. They all added up within like $500 of each other too.
Yeah. That was gonna be my selection as well. I'll go Rahm and Hovland. I feel like whenever I bet or play Hovland, he's not as good as when I don't play him. So take that with a grain of salt for your lineups this week. But
well, that makes the decision easy on my part because I was gonna take Kyle's team first, and then I would have felt obligated to take Jordan's team. And then I recall that both Scotty and Day have top 5s in this golf tournament in the last 3 years. So that's enough for me to say that the vibes are still there, and I'm going to ride Scheffler and Day.
There we go.
I would have guessed Rory and Colin went to the listeners, but
you wouldn't have, or
I would have.
Oh yeah.
If you're looking for a GPP pivot contest of studs and duds type situation, and want to play less owned studs at the top so you can play the very owned duds, play Rory and Colin, I think.
I feel like Rory's becoming the stud pivot of late, as is Colin. Both of them have really been low owned pivots, which is too bad.
Kyle, I was surprised you went Rahm and Hovland over Scheffler and Day. Are you avoiding Day more than anything in that pick, or are you actively seeking out Rahm and Hovland?
50-50 for me. I just like Rahm here, and I'm probably not going to have. I didn't bet Hovland. I probably will not have any exposure to Hovland in my lineup. So I was like,
There you go. Well, good luck in this one that doesn't win you any money.
Yeah, but it will.
Hey, it's all about the bragging rights.
Something's going to happen. End of the season, end of the tour championship. Something's going to happen here, and we're going to figure it out before then. Kyle, betting cards. Are you going to bet on the Memorial Golf Tournament?
I am, and the fun thing is, since I was in Iowa, I get to do it in the moment without a special trip back to do it. So that was
fun. That's nice, because normally you have to drive back.
Yeah, our special cases, right? Yes. So you'll notice a little bit of a theme here, though. It's probably guys I'm not going to play as much of in DFS, but I think are primed to pop, and betting card hasn't been as great. So I'm gonna switch it up. I've been doubling down on my plays lately. But so I have Colin Morikawa at 25-1 for 1.5 units this week. Also back it up with the top 10 in a first round leader. I have JT. I wasn't expecting him to get as much love as he is getting when I put that one in. You can get him up to 30 now, but I had to pull the trigger yesterday, so he's at 25. I have Hideki at 40, also a pass winner here, and if he can just find a putter and doesn't get DQ'd for putting fingernail polish on his driver, maybe there's a chance he wins. Siwoo Kim is my fourth play of the week. Got him at 60, just like what he's been doing, and it's a good fit for how he's been playing. And then I switched it up since I went 1.5 on JT and Colin. I just had one unit left, and I went my boy Ches Reavie for first round leader at 150.
Wow.
So
that would be big.
I did hit the DP World Tour a little bit too, because I was in Iowa. So I took Matty Schmidt at 600. I forget who even tweeted it. Somebody we follow
600. Plus
60. Sorry. As their favorite play of the week. And just in case it goes super chalk, I did a Euro PGA parlay, Victor Perez and Patrick Cantlay, that pays out 18,000 to 1.
18. Okay. Plus 18,000. Plus 18,000.
Plus 18,000. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah. I know. Well, no, it's hard because you're doing DP World Tour, so you're trying to translate to like British odds and American odds, and you're all messed up.
Yeah, I have that. So the Victor Perez is the favorite this week on the Euro stop.
Gotcha.
Cantlay was third on the board. So, hey-o.
Well, good luck. I'm pulling for you.
Ches Reavie's going to be the first round leader. You hear it here first.
Maybe. All right. Well, I look forward to watching the Memorial. Not too much going on this week, so it'll be nice to see the stars on TV, and hopefully, as it's been in most elevated events, it's going to be probably some good drama and some big names at the top. Jordan, anything you want to close the show with? Anything on your mind? Things you learned today? Usually, you find a way to just fill us in on something good.
Not having any beers really impacts my ability to fill in. I brought it. The Scheffler betting one was my tidbit of the day. Kyle, Kyle, bet right now, Kyle. Do $5 on Scheffler for top 20.
Might have missed.
I did give you the tip before, so listener feedback I got this week is that Jordan is more entertaining the more beers that are consumed. So they do not like our dry January episodes as much as the rest of the year.
Yeah. It's funny. My wife says the exact opposite.
Yeah.
So does Mike's wife and Heather's wife also say the exact opposite. The more beers, not the better for me. Not for you guys, for me.
Heather's wife?
He's been drinking. Don't worry. Like I said, I hope we get a good tournament this weekend. I look forward to catching up with you guys in a week. You can follow us on Twitter all week long at RTG Podcast DFS. Find our podcast episodes on YouTube, Reading the Green, or any major podcast platform every Wednesday morning. And so we'll be back in a week with the results of the Memorial and preview the RBC Canadian Open, the last event before the US Open. Good luck, everyone. See ya.